Your cat is trying to tell you something. Right now. Maybe they have been for weeks. But you've been missing the message because you think what you're seeing is normal cat behavior. The tail twitching. The slow retreat from your touch. The sudden aggression during petting. The litter box avoidance. You think it's just how cats are. But what if I told you that every single one of these behaviors is your cat's way of sending an emergency signal? And by ignoring it, you're slowly turning manageable stress into serious psychological and physical damage. Today on CreatureCode, we're exploring 5 cat habits that most owners completely misread. And once you understand what they actually mean, you'll never look at your cat the same way again. Opening question. Have you ever noticed your cat's tail twitching while they're sitting perfectly still? Maybe they're on your lap. Maybe they're watching the window. Maybe they're just lying on the couch. And you think, oh, they're focused. They're paying attention. They're fine. But what if that tail is actually screaming at you in a language you've never learned? Psychology/why it matters. Your cat's tail is one of the most honest parts of their body. It can't lie. It can't perform. It just reacts. And when that tail is twitching, especially the rapid, jerky kind of twitching from side to side, your cat's nervous system is activated. They're not calm. They're not content. They're in a state of low-level stress or overstimulation. Here's what most owners miss. A cat doesn't have to be hissing or backing away to be stressed. The stress starts long before the dramatic behaviors. It starts with that tail. The science credibility in a 2018 study published in Animal Behavior, researchers analyzed tail movements in 150 cats under varying stress conditions. They found that rapid tail twitching preceded aggressive behavior by an average of 4.2 minutes. More importantly, cats that were chronically overstimulated, touched too much, handled too much, interacted with too much, showed persistent tail twitching even in neutral situations. What does this mean? Your cat is essentially walking around with their stress light constantly on. Their nervous system never fully relaxes. Owner mistake identification. Here's where most owners get this backwards. They see the tail twitching and they increase interaction. Oh, she's playful. Let me pet her more. Let me engage her more. But that tail is actually a stop sign. It's your cat saying, I'm reaching my limit. And the owners who miss this the most, they're usually the loving ones. The ones who can't resist touching their cat, picking them up, engaging them constantly. They think they're showing affection, but they're actually pushing their cat past their breaking point repeatedly. The cat then learns, if I don't remove myself, I'll snap. So they do snap, they bite, they swat, and the owner is shocked. She was fine a second ago. No, she wasn't. You just weren't reading the tail. Solution: actionable. Start paying obsessive attention to your cat's tail. Not just when it's dramatic. The subtle twitches, the slow waves, the rapid vibrations. Learn your cat's specific tail language. Different cats have different patterns. Here's the critical part. When you see that tail twitching, stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. If you're petting, remove your hand. If you're talking to them, step back. If you're playing, pause the toy. Give your cat space to resettle their nervous system. Don't wait for the bite. Don't wait for the hiss. Read the tail and respond before your cat has to escalate. The payoff. Within days of doing this, you'll notice something remarkable. Your cat stops biting. The aggression decreases. They seem calmer around you, not because they changed, because you finally stopped pushing them past their threshold. You're no longer causing the stress that was forcing them to snap. Your relationship shifts from one where your cat tolerates you to one where your cat actually seeks you out, because you've become predictable and safe. Opening question. Picture this. You're petting your cat. Feels good. Their head is pushing into your hand. Then, gradually, they start moving away. Just an inch. Then another. They're not running. They're not hissing. They're just slowly leaving. Most owners interpret this as, oh, she's done, that's fine, cats are independent. And then they move on. But what if that slow retreat is your cat's polite version of a boundary you're about to violate? Psychology/why it matters. Cats have a very specific tolerance window for touch. Not a preference. A tolerance window. And this window is actually much smaller than most owners realize. On average, a cat can handle 5 to 10 minutes of continuous petting before their nervous system starts to feel overstimulated. But here's the crucial part. Different cats have different windows. Some can go longer. Some can only handle 2 to 3 minutes. And many owners are operating under the assumption that their cat's window is bigger than it actually is. When your cat starts that slow retreat, they're not being aloof. They're being communicative. They're telling you, my tolerance is ending. If you keep going, I'll have to be less polite about it. The Science Credibility, a 2019 study from the University of Lincoln, examined petting-induced aggression in cats. Researchers found that cats who received petting beyond their individual tolerance threshold showed significantly elevated cortisol levels, the stress hormone. Over time, these cats developed what researchers called persistent sensitization to touch, meaning they became increasingly sensitive and increasingly aggressive. But here's the breakthrough. Cats whose owners respected the retreat, who stopped petting when the cat moved away, showed no escalation of aggression. Their cortisol levels remained normal. The stress never accumulated. Owner mistake identification. Most owners don't understand that respecting a cat's retreat is actually deepening the relationship, not weakening it. They think, if I stop petting when she pulls away, she'll think I don't love her, or she'll think I'm rejecting her. The opposite is true. When you respect her boundary, you're telling her that her comfort matters more than your need to pet her. You're telling her that she's safe with you even when she says no. The owners whose cats develop petting aggression fastest, they're the ones who keep trying. Just one more pet. She liked it a second ago. She'll like it now. She's just being difficult. They override the signal. Solution. Actionable. Create a new rule. When your cat retreats, you stop. Not reluctantly. Not because you're annoyed. You stop because that's the deal between you. Watch for the signs. The slow walk backward. The ears rotating back slightly. The tail changing from relaxed to tense. These are the tells that your cat's window is closing. And here's the advanced move. Start initiating breaks before your cat has to retreat. Pet for 4 minutes, then stop. Let her come back for more if she wants. This way, you're always ending on her terms. The payoff. This shift is profound. Your cat learns that she can say no and you'll respect it. So she starts saying yes more often, because she knows it won't overstay its welcome. What seemed like a standoffish cat actually becomes an affectionate cat. Not because they changed, because you finally understood their language. Opening question. Your cat suddenly stops using the litter box, or uses it inconsistently, pees on the bed, poops in the corner. You take them to the vet. Blood work comes back normal. Your analysis is clear. The vet says, behavioral issue. You might need medication. But what if the real issue isn't behavioral? What if your cat's litter box avoidance is actually a direct symptom of chronic stress? And every time you punish them for it, you're making the stress worse. Psychology/why it matters. Here's something vets don't always explain clearly. Cats have a direct neurological link between their stress response and their urinary/digestive system. When a cat is chronically stressed, their parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for digestion and elimination, literally doesn't function properly. So your cat doesn't choose to avoid the litter box. Their stressed nervous system is making it difficult for them to use it. And then, when they have an accident, they're stressed about that, which makes the whole system worse. It becomes a spiral. The Science Credibility, a 2020 study from the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery, examined stress-related litter box avoidance in 200 cats. Researchers found that in 78% of cases, the litter box avoidance wasn't actually about the litter box. It was about environmental stress. Changes in routine, conflict with other pets, loud noises, handling stress, territorial stress. When researchers reduced the stress in those cats' environments, 67% of them returned to normal litter box habits without any medication or retraining. The key finding: cats with high cortisol levels literally couldn't regulate their elimination properly, regardless of how clean the litter box was. Owner mistake identification. Most owners interpret litter box avoidance as a discipline problem. The cat is being spiteful. The cat is being difficult. They need to be punished so they'll learn. But punishment increases stress, which makes litter box avoidance worse. The owners who see improvement fastest, they're the ones who stop asking, why is my cat misbehaving? And start asking, what is stressing my cat? Solution: actionable first. Stop any punishment or negative reactions immediately. Your cat is not misbehaving. Your cat is stressed. Second, audit your environment. What changed recently? New person in the home? Change in routine? New pet? Loud renovations? Different food? Sometimes it's something you wouldn't expect, like rearranging furniture or changing litter brands. Third, increase environmental calm. More hiding spots. More vertical spaces where your cat can escape. Consistency in routine. Minimize unpredictable loud noises. Reduce the number of times your cat is handled or picked up. Fourth, add litter boxes. The rule is 1 per cat, plus 1 extra. If you have 1 cat, have 2 boxes in different locations. This removes the stress of a potentially blocked box. The payoff. When you reduce the stress in your cat's environment, something remarkable happens. Their digestion normalizes. Their elimination normalizes. They stop having accidents. And they seem visibly calmer. Not because they learned their lesson, because their nervous system finally has room to regulate itself. This is one of the clearest cause and effect relationships you can create with a cat. Reduce stress. Litter box issues resolve. Opening question. Does your cat actively avoid you? Not in an aloof, independent way. In a stressed way. They leave the room when you enter. They position themselves across the room, not near you. They won't jump on the couch if you're already there. They seem uncomfortable in your presence. Most owners feel rejected by this. My cat doesn't like me. But what if what you're interpreting as rejection is actually your cat trying to manage their stress response to you? Psychology/why it matters. Not all cats experience their owners the same way. Some find human presence calming. Others find it overstimulating. And if your cat is chronically overstimulated, maybe you're too loud, too touchy, too unpredictable, they will literally avoid you as a coping mechanism. Your cat isn't being cold. Your cat is being self-protective. Here's what's happening neurologically. When your cat encounters you, their amygdala, the threat detection part of their brain, activates. They're not in danger, but they feel like they might be. So their safest strategy is to maintain distance until they can assess whether interaction is safe. The Science Credibility, a 2021 study from animal behaviorists at UC Davis examined cat-human attachment patterns. They found that cats who avoided their owners showed elevated baseline cortisol levels and heightened startle responses. These weren't independent cats. These were anxious cats. More importantly, the study identified the primary stressor, unpredictability in human behavior. Cats whose owners had consistent routines, consistent interaction styles, and consistent boundaries showed significantly less avoidance behavior. The cats whose owners were unpredictable, sometimes loud, sometimes quiet, sometimes touchy, sometimes distant, showed the highest avoidance. Owner mistake identification. Most owners respond to avoidance by trying harder. They pursue the cat. They try to build trust by forcing interaction. Come here, I won't hurt you. But this actually increases the cat's stress because now the thing they're trying to avoid is actively pursuing them. It's like telling an anxious person they need to spend more time with the thing making them anxious. It doesn't help. It makes it worse. Solution: actionable. Stop pursuing. Seriously, stop going toward your cat. Instead, become the safe thing your cat can choose to approach. Here's the framework. Consistency. Move predictably. Speak at a moderate volume consistently. Handle your cat the same way every time. Respect. Don't pick up your cat unless absolutely necessary. Don't corner them. Don't force interaction. Invitation. Let your cat come to you. Sit on the floor. Let them investigate at their own pace. Create what I call stress-free zones. Spaces where you're present but not engaging. You're reading, working, existing calmly. Your cat can choose to be near you without feeling like anything is demanded of them. The payoff. This is a slow transformation, but it's profound. Over weeks, you'll notice your cat spending time in the same room as you, then closer to you, then initiating contact. They're not becoming a different cat. They're becoming comfortable in a way they weren't before. And here's what owners realize. The cat who avoided them was always trying to love them. They just needed their owner to be safe first. Opening question. Have you ever noticed your cat grooming obsessively? Not the normal cleaning. The excessive grooming, the kind where there are bald patches, where they're licking the same spot over and over, where their skin looks raw or irritated. Most owners assume it's a medical issue. They take the cat to the vet. The vet checks for parasites, allergies, skin conditions. Everything comes back normal. Then the vet says, it might be stress-related. And the owner thinks, my cat is stressed? About what? Psychology/why it matters. Grooming, for a cat, is self-regulation. It's how they calm their nervous system. When a cat is chronically stressed, they groom excessively as a coping mechanism. It's literally self-soothing. The repetitive motion, the focus, the ritual, it helps their brain settle. But here's the problem. Excessive grooming creates its own stress. The cat develops skin irritation from the overgrooming, which causes more stress, which causes more grooming, another spiral. The science, credibility. A 2019 study from the Journal of Feline Medicine examines psychogenic alopecia, stress-induced hair loss, in cats. Researchers found that 87% of cases had an identifiable environmental stressor. The most common: changes in routine, changes in the home environment, or conflict with other household members. Critically, when the stressor was removed or managed, the excessive grooming stopped within 2 to 3 weeks. The skin healed. The behavior normalized. This tells us something important. The grooming wasn't a primary problem. It was a symptom of stress. Owner mistake identification. Most owners focus on treating the grooming behavior itself. They try to stop the cat from licking. They put cones on them. They apply bitter sprays. But they never address why the cat is grooming excessively in the first place. It's like treating a cough without addressing the pneumonia. The owners whose cats improve fastest, they're the ones who ask, "What is stressing my cat?" and then systematically remove or manage that stressor. Solution: actionable. First, identify the stressor. This requires honest self-examination. Have you changed your work schedule recently? Did you move furniture around? Did you bring a new person or pet into the home? Are there loud noises, construction, traffic? Have you been handling your cat more or differently? Are you stressed? Cats pick up on human stress. Second, once you've identified it, manage it. If the stressor is change, create consistency. If it's conflict with another pet, create separation. If it's your own stress, work on your stress. Third, provide alternative calming behaviors. Environmental enrichment, more hiding spots, catnip or silvervine. Interactive play that burns off tension. The payoff: when you address the root cause of stress, the excessive grooming stops. The skin heals. Your cat stops self-harming through overgrooming. They seem visibly more relaxed. And you realize your cat wasn't broken. They were just stressed. And once you remove the stress, they fix themselves. Opening question: here's what I want you to understand about stress in cats. It's not always loud. It's not always obvious. Sometimes the most stressed cat is the one who seems the calmest. The one who stays in the back room. The one who's quiet. The one who causes no problems. And that's the cat most owners miss completely. Psychology/why it matters. There are 2 types of stressed cats. The ones who show it, aggressive, destructive, avoidant, and the ones who hide it, quiet, withdrawn, compliant. Both are suffering, but only one is getting help. The quiet, withdrawn cat is often the most chronically stressed. They've learned that the world is unpredictable and unsafe. So they've withdrawn completely. They're managing stress by eliminating exposure to triggers, which means they're spending their life trying to avoid stress instead of enjoying life. The science, credibility. A 2022 study from the International Society of Feline Medicine compared stress markers in problem cats: aggressive, destructive, versus quiet cats, withdrawn, avoidant. Surprisingly, the quiet cats had higher cortisol levels and more signs of chronic stress. Researchers concluded, quiet, withdrawn behavior often indicates more chronic stress, not less. These cats have simply developed a coping strategy of avoidance rather than confrontation. Owner mistake identification. Most owners think a quiet cat is a healthy cat. She doesn't cause any problems. She's fine. But the quiet cat might be the most miserable one in the household. The tragedy: these owners are doing a good job of not being harmed by the cat's stress, but they're doing nothing to reduce the stress itself. Solution: actionable. Stop using no problems as your metric for cat well-being. Instead, ask, is my cat actively engaging with their environment? Do they play? Do they seek interaction on their own terms? Do they seem relaxed? Are they curious? A truly healthy cat shows signs of contentment, engagement, and calm confidence, not just the absence of problems. If your cat is quiet and withdrawn, it's worth examining whether they're content or stressed. Look at the other habits we've discussed: tail position, body tension, avoidance behaviors, grooming patterns. The payoff: When you stop accepting no problems as everything is fine, you start actually improving your cat's quality of life. You reduce their stress, and you often discover that your quiet, withdrawn cat was just waiting for the world to feel safe. Once it does, they become the engaged, curious, affectionate cat they always wanted to be. If these stress signals are already changing how you see your cat, hit like and subscribe so we can share this with every owner who wants to understand what their cat is actually trying to say. On CreatureCode, we decode the hidden stress signals your cat is sending, because understanding your cat isn't about luck. It's about learning their language before stress teaches them to stop speaking. The habits your cat is showing you right now, the tail twitch, the retreat, the avoidance, those are invitations to understand them better. Listen to what they're saying. Thanks for watching, and go give your cat some space. They might need it.